Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Happy birthday to America, right, Dale?
Amen.
I'm here with my good friend Dale Ketlock. Great, Dale, it's great to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Historical data, we're always doing the live videos together. We are just so close and intertwined on the 244th birthday of the United States of America, July 4th, 1776. Instrumental day in the history of the world, but just not only in a country, but in the world also. So we are here today. The beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner you heard was courtesy of a record from the West Point Glee Club. I'm not sure of the exact year. It's probably on here somewhere, but great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Just wanted to make this video to signify the absolute, very important world event of July 4th, 1776, of Independence Day of the country. Again, just turning points of the world, if you will, from many different stages, from George Washington to Thomas Jefferson to James Madison to Alexander Hamilton, men that signified at the Second Continental Congress to adapt and to change things, ended up creating a whole new nation, right, Dale?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're here to talk about, our favorite parts of American history, and also asking you to be watching this video to comment and share their stories and experiences of what they like of American history as well. So, Dale, I would like to ask you on July 4th, 1776, out of all the history America's had so far, what would be synonymous of that time for you?
Oh my goodness, so many aspects of the history I like there. I study everything from the Revolutionary War all the way on up to the modern wars, and in the mining and our heritage here in the valley here. But special interest in the Civil War. I belong to the camp down there, which you're going to be joining.
Yes. And what was the name of that camp as well?
That's the Griffin Camp, the Camp 8. It's down underneath City Hall in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And we have a website. You can look it up there on Facebook, and they have a regular website. You could also find it on my website, www.historical-data.com, and go down and
yes,
links.
please give his website some great views.
You could check that out too. We have a lot of stuff in that museum, but unfortunately, due to the COVID-19, it's closed. It's been closed for a while. But we have a lot of artifacts, not replicas, actual artifacts from the actual men who fought for this nation. Great.
And any particular point in history that, like you like certain event that you would find the most significant that could describe, the American spirit of this day? Any time in history at all that you favor?
Well, the Revolutionary War. On our website, you'll see a lot of gravestones. We have a lot of cemeteries there, and we're tracking all the veterans from all the wars. But the Revolutionary War, especially the first one there, and there are a lot of them around here, quite a bit of them around. And I have a picture of one Rev vet up in the Osgood Cemetery up in Wayne County. You can see that on the website. And he's probably one of the few vets around here who lived to get a picture taken. And that was interesting. Then the War 1812, which was a smaller war. There are a few veterans around, mainly out in Wyoming and Bradford counties. And then Civil War, they're all over. In fact, we're finding them in the woods where nobody even knows they are. But those three wars right there really piqued my interest.
Pique your interest and signify, the great spirit of America,
absolutely.
and the values we hold dear.
Yes.
Listen, it's great to be with you again. And what I would like to highlight as well is not only Independence Day and signifying, what that means for our country, what that means for each and every one of us that are reaping the benefits of the hard work and blood spilled on behalf of those many brave men. I would like to particularly call interest to the North Battalion of the Civil War, the 54 or 45th, the battalion of the Massachusetts Infantry, the first all-black division of the military during the Civil War. During that time, again, during the height of the Civil War, here you had African Americans, Black Americans, were encouraged to enlist to help them become, citizens, to help them actually gain their independence. And even being in the process of that, still just fighting for a nation where they're not even technically citizens yet. I think that kind of sums up a lot of the fighting spirit of America and, the battle cries of freedom, the rally around the flag, cry for freedom, 1863. But I want to call out one particular man in general, and that person is Sergeant William Carney, the first black soldier to earn the Medal of Honor. First black soldier to earn the Medal of Honor. A brief history on that is that there was a officer, of those days, the Black Americans could only be, getting them their own battalion was an amazing achievement during that time, during the North and South, during, the very segregated times. and just to have an infantry of men that there was much widespread, criticism of this, that Black Americans, they didn't think they could actually lead or actually participate in the war, or that would run and be skittish in war. These are all facts you can look about on any Civil War documentary. But not only did the battalion earn the respect of those who had fought in this war, it is said that President Lincoln himself has quoted that knowing the contributions of these soldiers too helped not only defend the Union, but also help win the war for the Union and save the Republic. That's how instrumental these men in this battalion was. And again, Sergeant William Carney, basically, an officer was basically wounded. His officer was basically wounded, and this was at Fort Wagner. After the officer was killed, the officer behind the officer behind, the officer of the person that would be the flag holder. There's an actual specific name for that. I'm not sure if you're aware of the name for that.
No, I'm not.
But there's a name that they'd say for the person that goes into battle holding the flag. Now, William Carney had seen this person get killed, had seen the officer die in front of his eyes, and noticed that the flag was falling. Not only picked up the flag, but in the midst of the evening hours, around all this smoke and bullets and gunfire, picked up the flag, noticed it was falling, and actually helped carry and just go through the night, not even knowing what was in front of him, just picked up the flag and just kept going and going and going. And to a point, he suffered so many severe wounds that he would never fully recover, but again, be awarded the first soldier to earn the first Black American to earn the Medal of Honor, being shot in the shoulder, both of his legs. Upon holding the flag under all of this, he basically was quoted when he had got back to being pulled out of the battle as well. Upon holding that, and he exclaimed to his fellow soldiers, his comrades, saying, "I did my duty, boys. The flag never touched the ground." Being shot in both legs and the shoulder, and trying to anchor and hold this flag up for a country that basically didn't even consider this person a citizen of the United States yet, definitely signifies, everything that is behold in America, and it's just a beautiful segment of how far we've come. Just knowing the contributions of Black Americans to the future of the country as well, and just that, I would like to give a special shout out. That would be my first famous, my first American moment that we signify that how far we've come, where we're going to, and see good things and positive things every day, even in the middle of all this civil unrest. But I would also like to draw another American moment, a favorite of mine, would be the Battle of New Orleans. Also, a lot of people don't as well talk about the Battle of New Orleans, America's second war for independence, also on this day, July 4th, 1776. But again, you had the British, the invaders at that time, because we already had became independent July 4th, 1776, but blocking the ports to the American Navy, basically putting a stronghold on us. And again, if we had lost the War of 1812, which the Battle of New Orleans was in, we would have again had to give up land and would have been under tyranny and oppression as well. So that many people don't like to, many people aren't aware of that or haven't looked into that much. But one of those Americans that was also a general as well, or Colonel, but Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson led so many different people and so many different nationalities, from the Americans to Native Americans to basically pirates, they were saying, that had filed there just to fight against the invaders of the land. Not even unified in, what they all stood for, just uniting against a common enemy and a force that would keep people from being enslaved, which would have been, again, the British Crown and our independence from Great Britain. But those are the two American moments to me that I hold dear during this time, and when I really look back at the virtues of America that we all hold dear till today, till always, for now, today, and always, those are the ones that scream out extra special to me. And Dale actually brought something very synonymous here as well. So can you care to tell us, everybody watching, Dale, what you brought with us today?
My birthday was October 14th, and so was Eisenhower's. So back when I was
President Eisenhower,
back when I was 10 years old in 1965, my mom said, "Why don't you send him a card? Just waste a stamp if nothing happens." So I sent him a card, and I got one back.
You got one back, yeah. Everybody see, okay, all the people watching, yes. Wow. And what was the card say? So you share the same birthday as President Eisenhower.
I'm happy to learn we share the same anniversary. I take this opportunity to send cordial greetings and best wishes for many happy days ahead. Sincerely, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Then the next year, we sent one out again, And he sent it back again. He
Wow,
said,
these are
"Thank you for the birthday greetings. It was thoughtful of you to remember me, and I appreciate your taking the time to send a special message on the 75th anniversary of my birth. Heartwarming messages such as yours made a day a memorable one for me." Dwight D. Eisenhower, right there.
right again. Yeah,
And Gettysburg,
definitely-
Pennsylvania. That's where he lived.
Yeah. So he, again, being president until
And the last
60,
five-star
yes.
general too.
Five-star general. Yeah, has the 5 stars. You can see "Happy Birthday" says at the top. Yeah, 5 stars. If you can't see it there, that's pretty. That is phenomenal. That is really that's something as a part of the collection.
Yes. Now you mentioned a flag, that the flag bearers there in our museum down there. We do have a flag that was carried by 12 boys that was shot out from under it. It's
wow.
inside a tube. If you go to our website again, www.historical-data.com, go down to the Griffin camp, the Civil War camp, and you see all the videos in there. That one's a tour of the camp. You can see that flag. We have that in there. But it was shot out from under 12 boys, 12, 13, 14 years old, and they have the names down there. I don't recall them offhand, but it's inside a cylinder now, a tube. It's deteriorating badly, but it was the actual flag. It was in the battles, and 12 boys died underneath that flag.
Oh,
It's
wow.
down there. Yep.
12 boys died underneath. Wow.
Once you join our camp, you'll be down there. You'll see it.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it once this COVID thing
Yes,
clears.
we'll be
It's
opening up.
definitely, we're definitely adhering to everything going on as well. We are actually broadcasting from a city that is actually in the green. It's open, definitely for just meetings, barbecues, retail, everything like that. Also, want to take a special mention for everybody watching this video too that we send our heartfelt our hearts are with the people that have been affected for COVID-19.
Absolutely, yep.
We send our support as always to all first responders, police, military, law enforcement. We are with everyone every step of the way, and that sacrifice so much for us each and every day for us to even be here to have interviews like this with all the civil unrest going on in the country right now. But it's amazing thing. July 4th, 1776 is 244 years old, but values and virtues still hold dear today. Our freedom of speech, our peaceful right to assemble, our right to, again, unreligious persecution.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's just because you don't practice something, you can't be persecuted for it. It's really a credit to all we hold dear as Americans, even during an election cycle. This video is just dedicated to us celebrating the 4th of July, 1776, just standing behind our police, our military, our first responders, just throwing some favorite parts out there from history from myself and Dale. But again, it's just so great to have everybody watching. I extend to each and every one of you a happy 4th of July and your families.
Yep.
And I hope everyone is safe during this time. I hope you're kicking back at a grill or watching something that definitely can motivate you as well. And, as the words of another great president, President Ronald Reagan, every day, in my opinion, all Americans watching this video, we have the ability to start the world over again in our actions and contributions to society each and every day. And it's touching that we still have so many memories of that, even though they're trying to be taken down, of those symbols of just patriotic people like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Mount Rushmore, Abraham Lincoln, the savior of the Republic, the great unifier of everything that has gone on. Again, Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
It's just we really dedicate, a lot of our work to the acts of these great men that will always be great men in our eyes and the eyes of this society, which we're posting a live video for. And, we wanted to take a minute out of our time to thank you for watching. Continue to watch, like and share the video.
One short story here.
Actually,
Archibald.
please.
Yep. One of our findings, it's up at the Archibald Historical Society. When we open up again, people will be able to get in and see that article. But downtown Archibald, 1907, they found in a building a square, a builder's square. It had a guy's name on it. The last name was Miller. I can't recall his first name, but they wondered, where's this Miller, And one of the local people said, yeah, we know him. He moved down to the Philadelphia or the Washington, D.C. area. So they got a hold of him. And he was one of the ones that was drafted into the war when the Civil War broke out. And he said, when Lincoln gave the call for soldiers, they literally dropped their tools where they're at and ran and jumped on the train. And he left his builder's square there up in the attic in that house, downtown Archibald on Laurel Street. And they got it back to him in 1907. They did find out where he was. There was no internet back then, but they found him somehow. And they shipped it down to him. And he told the story how that they just dropped their tools where they were at and just left and jumped on the train and they found that builder square up there.
Not another thought or anything. Just got it.
True patriots. I mean, to do that, just drop your tools and get ready and take off.
Drop your tools, get ready to take off. And we do a lot of, we definitely do a lot of videos on a mining tours, as well as the great rich history in northeastern Pennsylvania here. And it's just we really understand in the small towns and the areas that so many people had to sacrifice so much for us to get to where we are today. And those sacrifices are occurring every day. It's not as much as you watch on the news and everything that maybe just negative. You know, it's time you just get out and you just talk to your neighbor, talk to people around, just start communicating with each other. You know, as we always do, just start talking to each other, being kind to one another. Just so many things, little things that can make the biggest difference in the world each and every day.
Absolutely.
You know, and one nation under God. Indivisible with liberty and justice for all, in my opinion, Dale.
Absolutely, mine too, absolutely.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching our Salute to America. Again, just giving shout out to the 1st Black Battalion during the Civil War. It's a great memory of mine, great part of history. I believe that Sergeant William Carney, not even a American citizen yet, fighting for his own freedom and independence from the United States, standing for our flag, not letting for our flag to touch the ground, making a pivotal moment out of the battalion, the 1st Black Battalion of the Civil War. Again, President Lincoln contributing his thoughts that if it wasn't for the African Americans that had pitched in to win that war, we might have very well lost the Union and our entire way of life. Yep. Again, just being a part of that, and again, making an example and setting an example for all African Americans going forward in many departments of the war. And it's interesting that we have Dwight Eisenhower letters, because he was actually famous for desegregating the military as well.
Yeah.
Desegregating the military and getting battalions and groups together instead of just keeping them separate as well. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless, and happy 4th, and happy 4th of July, and happy birthday to America. Thank you all. Thank you.